Good morning. Today is Saturday, January 22nd, 2022. Welcome to Columnhenge at Alpha Ωmega. We're located halfway between Death Valley and Las Vegas. Halfway between Joshua Tree and Area 51 in the Mojave Desert of the Southwest United States.
And you can find us at alphaomega.church on the internet. This morning you're about to experience once again a recreation and revival of a very, very ancient Christian rite. This rite comes from the 1st century AD, and it's apparently, and it comes from two lost books of the Bible rediscovered in Egypt in 1769 called the Bruce Codex. This morning we'll be once again demonstrating for you the opening of the 9th Treasury of Light. I'm Reverend David Griffin.
I'm Reverend Leslie McQuade.
And this is the Lost Teachings of Jesus Revival.
The sun is the dispenser of light to the earth. May the living light of the God force inflame our souls with abundant life.
Our destiny lies amongst the stars, and to the stars humanity shall ascend.
Take a nice deep breath and feel into your body. Breathe deeply. Feel each breath as it moves into you. Follow your breath as it spreads throughout your body. And as you are breathing deeply and feeling deeply into each and every part of yourself, visualize yourself as the tree of life, however it is you imagine that tree to be, and grow your branches up high into Alpha Sky. Drive your roots down deep into Omega Earth. I call on you in the east, Alpha. I call on you in the west, Omega. I call on you in the north, Alpha. I call on you in the south, Omega.
Alpha.
At Omega.
The beginning.
And the end.
And the path of the age between sunrise
and sunset.
And the path of the sun between birth
and death.
The path of life between Alpha.
Omega.
Oh, this morning once again here at Alpha Ωmega Free Church, Columnhenge Temple, we call forth once again the angels of the 9th Treasury of Light. Angels of the 9th Treasury, attend. Watchers, we know your names, so stand aside as we enter into the 9th Treasury of Light. Watchers, withdraw as we enter into the 9th Treasury of Light. And the living Jesus said, there are 12 heads in my Father's treasury, and these are the names that are in the places when they sing praises to my Father, and he gives light power to them. Aozaia. Aozaia. Aruba inoza. Aruba inoza. Oza oe. Oza oe. Hey ya ah. Hey ya ah. Naraneza o. Naraneza o. Goza za e. Goza za e. Done za e. Done za e. Alpha Ωmega. Alpha Ωmega. Dozeia. Dozeia. Ezapsachonza. Ezapsachonza. Bore zazai. Bore zazai. Hey, off of that. Hey, off of that. So we completed our journey through the places, calling forth the 12 mighty angels, each in its proper place and proper rank. And at length we came into the place of the middle, called place of the midst, the place of the center, the place of the Father of the Treasury of Light. O Father of the ninth Treasury of Light, by your cipher and by your name we invoke you. Ioe I Toi. Ioe I Toi. Let the divine light descend. We welcome you, Almighty Ones. Thank you for coming. It is the intention of this ritual and our fervent prayer to establish human liberty worldwide.
Establish human liberty worldwide.
Abolish slavery in all its forms.
Abolish slavery in all its forms.
And establish a pro-human future.
Establish a pro-human future.
Restore the purity of our air.
Restore the purity of our air.
The purity of our water.
Restore the purity of our water.
The purity of our food.
Restore the purity of our food.
And the purity of our medicines.
Restore the purity of our medicines.
Protect Homo sapiens from extinction.
Protect Homo sapiens from extinction.
And protect the integrity of Homo sapiens' genetic code.
Protect the integrity of Homo sapiens' genetic code.
Every day we ask these things, although we know that most of them are for those who stay behind on this planet. For at the end of the age, many of us shall be ascending directly into the kingdom of light when we finish this incarnation, using the secret teachings of Jesus. There are those who have asked, how can we learn this magnificent system now? You can. The best way is you come to this ritual every morning and you share this ritual. Help us get this word out. But come to the ritual. I always say the names first so that you can vibrate them with us. Vibrate these names with us so you can be united with the energy of the ritual. If you get them wrong, it doesn't matter. Do the best you can. If you are really serious about learning this, right now you still have to learn it the hard way. Leslie and I are making a course. Once it's finished, things will be much more available to you and much more easily digestible and easy to understand. Because you see, the first and second books of Yahweh, they give ritual instructions, but they're just like an outline, you see. They're like a ritual precis, a ritual synopsis. It is a synopsis of the rite with all of the main points. The tiny little details are missing. That was where Leslie and I came in, and Leslie's anthropological skills as a religious reconstructionist. Together with Leslie, we were able to carefully and painstakingly reconstruct this rite from the information that we had in the first book of Yahweh. So what you're witnessing here today is actually the Alpha Ωmega Free Church rendition of this rite, but all of the names are correct. This is the essence of the rite that was given to us by the Master Jesus Christ himself through his disciples and his apostles. Every day we are demonstrating this ancient technology to you. You see, there were methods that Jesus used for spiritual development that didn't make it down to us, because the Church of Rome thought it wasn't in their interest that human beings should be empowered like this by these practices, but rather they were interested in keeping power themselves and imposing a celibate priesthood between man and God. Well, we all see how that worked out. So now today, 2,000 years later, at the end of the age and the beginning of the new one, when humanity's in this terrible crisis, repressed terribly by this horrible virus, that once again, these ancient practices, these ancient methods of Jesus Christ become conscious to humanity once again, after having been taken away from us for nearly 2,000 years. Now in our hour of need, they come back to us when we really need them. That's why I say, if you want to get a head start, you want to get a jump on this before our course comes out, go right now to Wikipedia, look up Bruce Codex, that's spelled B-R-U-C-E, and on that page on Wikipedia of the Bruce Codex, the name of the document they found the books of Yahweh in, go to the bottom of that page and there's a download link to download what they call the books of Dieu, J-E-U. Well, it's actually Yahweh. It's a bad translation, bad transliteration. So go there and download that and you can get started right away. The other way is to go to our website at alphaomega.church, and you should do that actually first, and download our free ebook. And while you're there, take a look at our prayer wall and consider leaving a donation. You see, we really depend on you. We depend mightily on our congregation to keep this mission afloat. If it weren't for you, we couldn't do this. You are the one who are causing this to happen through your support. So thank you so much for coming out. All these things we ask in the name of the living Jesus. Amen.
Amen. So mote it be. Take a moment now to again feel into your body. This ancient magical rite we are doing together helps you experience more God force energy within yourself. As you have more God force energy within yourself, so you're better able to see very clearly when people are lying to you. You see, this is one of the most important things that we have to learn. That there are cultures here on earth who think that lying is a virtue. I know that sounds incredible, but this is true. As an anthropologist, I have studied as many of the world's cultures as I can, and I've made a very good survey of the major cultures and a pretty fair survey of the minor cultures as well. And the one thing that I discover throughout is that the cultures that consider lying a virtue are, without question, unpleasant cultures to live in if you happen to be someone who has compassion. Because you see, compassion leads you to a different place. Compassion leads you to the place where you take it upon yourself to care for those who are being bullied. You see, bullies lie, and those who are chivalrous and good protect those who are not smart enough to understand that they're being lied to from the liars. Now, there are those who are willfully ignorant, and those, yes, Jesus recommended that we still teach them, recommended that even when someone backslides, we, again, help them to find the path. And that's because patience and compassion go hand in hand. Patience is an aspect of compassion, because what patience asks us to do is to allow the other person to catch up. Patience is what a parent shows when a child is struggling to tie their shoes, even though you're going to be late for your meeting. That's because you understand that struggle is necessary for learning to take place. But there's a difference between struggling to learn and struggling to survive someone whose totalitarian and authoritarian ways are shoving you down. When a parent is helping a child learn, yes, they make the child struggle. But that is different from those who are sadistic and willfully and gleefully watch you struggle when you could be helped, when they know that your work is not leading to the end that you want. That's the difference between the parent and child. The parent sees the child struggling, learning to tie shoes, and smiles and understands that this is a struggle that can be overcome. This is something important to learn, such that the child is independent. And that is what we are here for. God is essentially teaching us how to tie our spiritual tennis shoes, such that we can take care of ourselves and be independent creatures upon our ascension into the kingdom of light. In order to be independent, there is struggle that is required. But there's a difference between when you're struggling and learning, and when people are purposefully keeping you down. And I tell you that there are liars that are purposefully keeping you down, telling you that you can tie your shoes with spaghetti. Well, it doesn't matter how good you are at tying your shoes. You'll never tie your shoes with spaghetti, because spaghetti's not what you tie your shoes with. And that's what a sadist does. A sadist laughs at you as you try and make do with what you have, knowing that what you have will never make do. This is the situation that there are many in our world today who would put us in. They would put us there for their own pleasure. That's why submission to this is folly. Because we don't submit in learning, we submit in folly. And that folly is that we're trying to do something that has been set up for failure. And liars set you up for failure. They set you up for failure through their lies. And that's why it's so important to be able to discern when you're being lied to and to be able to tell the difference. This is part of what God Force Energy is for. You see, not all of us were born with the same mental capacities, but all of us were born with the same connection to God. And when you trust in that connection to God and have faith in it, it makes up for lost IQ points. Don't worry. No one is as smart as they need to be. Even the smartest person on earth wishes they could be smarter. And that's what God is really for. God is the smartness, the intelligence, the discernment that you've been looking for. God is all-knowing. There's absolutely nothing that is hidden from the mind of God, because everything you see is the mind of God. We are inside the mind of God. Everything we see is God. We are. And that's why our interior worlds are all the same. Why? When we look within ourselves, we come to a place of unity with God, where we can be taught all those things that we do not yet know, where we can be filled up of all our inequities and all of our problems. Everything that vexes us can be fixed. It really requires only one thing. It requires faith. It requires faith in God and the ability to ignore all distractions through that faith. And as your faith in God continues, you'll find that you are happier than you have ever been, because you know the difference between when someone's lying to you and telling you the truth, when someone's trying to deceive you for their own sadistic pleasure, and when someone's just trying to help you learn something. And as you go through your Saturday, learning the difference and discerning the difference between liars and truth tellers, know that the truth tellers in your world are the ones that you should cleave to, even when they say something you don't like. And you'll remember how to do this, and you'll be strong enough to understand all the truths coming to you. When you plant your feet firmly in the ground, you put your head into the sky, and you open your heart wide and take in one more deep breath of God Force.
Thank you, Leslie, for that beautiful and inspiring message. We are Alpha Ωmega Free Church, and you can find us on the web at alphaomega.church. We are a church unlike any other in that we are bringing back to you the secret teachings of Jesus from the first century that have been rediscovered, reconstructed, and revived. Thanks so much for coming out. We really, really are glad that you're here, and we'll meet you again here tomorrow at the same time and same place. And until then, as always, have faith and expect a miracle.
And,
as always,
and until we have the pleasure of each other's company again, may all your magics work better than expected.